about 30 seconds' time, there's going to be agony and ecstasy of the highest order in sport. This is the moment. 2 to win. It's Archer to Guptill. Guptill's going to push for 2. They've got to go. Throat's got to go to the keeper's end. It is just the most amazing scene here at Lord's. Has it been matched ever in terms of drama? I can't think so. I can't. In hundreds of years of history.
I was absolutely loving the summer of 2019 in terms of the cricket that we had. It's very unusual to have a World Cup and an Ashes in the same summer.
The hype around 2019 was massive. Even the lads in the changing room were just like, this is like different, never experienced. Even just day-to-day stuff, you know, going out as a group for coffees and lunches and stuff like that. You know, you could just feel that it was all about cricket that summer.
Because we're in an odd number year, there was no threat from the Olympics or the Euros or a World Cup in football. And so this was cricket's chance to shine. And you need people within that home team thriving, being themselves and showing their best selves when the most eyes are going to be watching. The 2019 World Cup, there was a lot of working towards it, all the tactics, all the personnel, the way that England decided to build their team. And it was all fueled from how bad they'd been before, in particular how dire that 2015 World Cup campaign was.
In 2015, England were battling. They were really struggling.
England have been absolutely blitzed here.
And the misery for England continues.
Wonderful stuff from New Zealand.
New Zealand were playing a World Cup at home, which was in our favour.
He is an outstanding cricketer, Brandon McCullum, and this is a masterclass in the art of bold attacking cricket.
We had a pretty good side, and we played pretty damn well.
Straight down again, that's gone for 6! Kane Williamson has won it for New Zealand!
Probably the most well-balanced team that I can remember being a part of.
And we deserved our place in the final.
Elliott hits it up into the grandstand, and New Zealand are in the World Cup final!
For the team to go on a journey and kind of take the public with us, yeah, we kind of felt all of that.
World Cup final in 2015 in the MCG. It was obviously disappointing to not win it. But I suppose what that group of people actually achieved was so much bigger than actually that one isolated game. They had, I suppose, changed the outlook on what this Black Caps team was and what we stood for.
Bowled in, full and straight. The Bangladesh Tigers have knocked the England Lions out of the World Cup. One of the lowest points in English history.
World Cup in 2015 in Australia and New Zealand was an absolute nightmare. But you know, in the grand scheme, in the bigger picture, it actually allowed us to reset and start again.
Eoin Morgan, an innovative, free-thinking cricketer, really was the first white ball captain, the first one-day captain that practiced what he preached.
What we needed to get right, I would be allowed to implement alongside a coach, Trevor Bayliss. When you take on risk, when you make a mistake, you're not going to be dropped. You will be selected again. We expect you to go out and play as aggressively and positively than you did the previous day.
Brilliant from England. Win with style, win with flair, win with ease.
It was very, very simple those first 2 years. And we learned as we played. We were building the identity that we wanted as a white ball team.
It was pretty much the same group of players from start to finish. And everything we went through as a team, it was just so much fun.
England at home would sort of regularly be making 350, almost pushing 400, just, you know, an unstoppable batting lineup.
We played some wonderful stuff on the field. We had some great moments and some tough moments as well, but some good, honest moments in between.
New coaching staff, new personnel, new way of playing white ball cricket.
Eoin Morgan and Brendan McCullum, you know, were pretty good mates. And you could sort of see in terms of how they were going about things was sort of similar to what we had done under Brendan.
New Zealand played a brand of cricket that everybody embraced, everybody enjoyed, and it turned out to be very, very fruitful for them when it came to performance.
New Zealand just carried on. We just went about our work. We had a change in captaincy. We went from the inspirational Brendan McCullum to the inspirational Kane Williamson, but in a totally different way, totally different personalities.
Captaining a team, you're aware of being authentic. So to go to the World Cup in England, we're just very much focused on trying to play our way and target 2 months of cricket.
The 2019 World Cup, when it came around, England were definitely the favourites. It was only history holding them back, I suppose, which, when you put it like that, is quite a big deal.
It was great. I can remember going into various different other World Cups as an afterthought, and that is horrible. I would much rather be a favourite than an afterthought.
I actually remember walking around London with my wife thinking, I thought it would be bigger. Like, I thought, you know, maybe people would be more interested in the World Cup. And as I was saying that, sort of a white van pulled up, wind the window down, 3 lads shouting, "Good luck for the World Cup, like, we're all behind you." And then she was like, well, there's your answer. Like, people are incredibly invested in this summit. You just don't realise it because you're sort of on the inside.
But you still needed that moment.
Oh, no way! No way! You cannot do that, Ben Stokes. That is remarkable. That is one of the greatest catches of all time.
You know, getting off to a great start, suddenly it felt like the ball was rolling and we were away.
Our journey to actually get to that final was, it was pretty fun. The wickets weren't what everyone expected. Everyone was expecting this high-scoring World Cup, and through weather and whatnot, the wickets were providing different challenges. And that was cool, and we were having to figure it out a little bit more on the spot, which is also probably one of our strengths at that time. We were adapting as quick as we could, and that's how we were probably getting over the line.
We showed the spirit that we're about, the fighting spirit, the never say die attitude. Bangladesh was a cliffhanger. I remember the relief in the dressing room at the time. The South Africa game, Kane hit a 6 to win the game. We had West Indies. Carlos Braithwaite went mad at Manchester.
New Zealand win! The dream is diminished for Carlos Braithwaite!
I think when you learn to win in those close moments, it builds confidence within your group.
Things hadn't gone quite according to plan for England.
We came into the World Cup as favourites, and we weren't playing like favourites.
What a win for Sri Lanka!
It meant that they really had to win all their remaining games.
We had a great tour before the India game, and it's one of my favourite moments of the World Cup.
I'll never forget what Jason Roy said. He said, after all the worry that was going around the change room, Jason put his hand on and said, lads, the way I see it is we're 4 games away from winning the World Cup. That is it. And then it was like, I still get tingles, sort of feeling it.
They're connecting everything today. Another one clears the ropes. Roy and Barest together.
I just remember sort of watching these two guys bat and thinking, you know, if we do go on to lose this game, I'm so glad that they've gone out there and showed the way that, you know, we want to play our cricket.
England's World Cup campaign is back on track.
So they played India, New Zealand, last couple of group games.
Normal service is resumed.
And then the semi-final. And that's where the real England started to show their teeth.
Our biggest game was the semi-final against Oz. We lost against them in the group stage. We just had a sense that, you know, today was a really big day. From the very moment we stepped on the field, you know, it was serious, serious feeling.
What a start from England, what a start from Wokes.
To beat Australia of all teams in the way England did, bear in mind that Australia were the defending 50-over champions. It was probably their best performance of the World Cup.
That's up here in the commentary box!
How fitting it is that Captain Morgan is the man that leads his team to Lords for a World Cup final.
We just absolutely smacked Australia at Edgbaston. We're in the World Cup final, everyone's buzzing, and Trev just basically shut everyone up and just said that the reason why England have never won a World Cup is because they celebrate semi-finals. He just popped our balloon here, mate. But we knew exactly what he meant.
For us, the key goal, first of all, is to make the semi-final. So if you can create some momentum, which we did very early in that tournament, then I think you give yourself a chance. India are a fine team, they always are when they get to the World Tournaments.
It's and gone. Gapto's woes continue.
But we've also had a fair amount of success against them as well.
We didn't know it would turn out to be a 2-day game because of weather.
Umpires, they're going to say go, so New Zealand's innings will not be completed for quite some time.
I believe the fact that I went into it second day helped New Zealand.
I think they've given themselves a chance, if they play really, really well, to ask India some serious questions.
Because they were able to assess and talk about what was needed on that pitch.
It's actually exciting, to be honest. You've got arguably one of the best batting lineups in the world. In a World Cup semi-final, it's a great way to be challenged.
Oh yes, that is the start New Zealand were looking for. And another one. New Zealand all over India here.
World Cup semi-final. It can't get better. Wow, New Zealand. Come the pressure, come the big match. You've been at your best.
We knew they had match winners throughout, you know, with the likes of Jadeja and Dhoni.
What a shot from Jadeja.
6 more. He is on fire, and now you can see the belief.
You've got someone like Dhoni at the crease, the game's never over.
Dhoni goes big. I think it's big enough. It is! Oh, man!
The champion at his very best. It's all on this man. It's not on anybody else at this moment.
But throughout this tournament, at any given time, we had confidence that those people in those positions could get the job done.
Now they've got to push for 2. Who's going to cover the keeper's stumps? They're going to go. Got to get him. Oh, direct hit. It's Martin Guptill. Is this the final? What a performance from New Zealand to defend 239 and do it by 18 runs.
This is an incredible moment. You know, as soon as that last wicket fell, to know that we were going to be in the World Cup final at Lord's.
The other ones you kind of love because you've had to fight, and it shows the characteristics of actually what your team's about.
All of us when we were kids dreamed of playing for New Zealand, playing in the World Cup final. You can't say it's like any other game because you know it's not. It was the biggest game I'd played in. And so the excitement, there's no containing that.
I remember chatting to various different players and just encouraging them to, you know, embrace the feeling that today is going to feel different and lean in when, you know, you feel a little bit more nervous.
There'd been a bit of rain that morning and the coaching staff actually went down earlier and put the hold on the players coming, which did create a little bit of panic because it sort of stopped pretty quickly and it took a bit while to get the bus in, so we were running a little bit behind time. My experience as a coach is the big events, the big finals, often players play the game too early in their own minds.
Tails is the call. Tails it is. Kane, what are you going to do?
We're going to have a bat.
So in a way, I was happy that we were just a little bit rushed through that prep and we weren't down there burning a lot of nervous energy.
Lord's is a unique place. You feel like you're in someone's house when you're walking through the long room to get out into the middle.
We had a number of players that were in the previous World Cup final. So there was I suppose a familiar feel to turning up to the ground and just kind of trying to repeat what we'd been doing.
We had a lot of support as well. Obviously a lot of Kiwis live over in London.
The England team are ready to get going. Can they do it one more time, or will it be New Zealand to lift the trophy for the very first time? New Zealand have won the toss. They'll be batting first, but eyes on the prize.
When we won the toss and knew that I'd be opening out there in that first over, it was like, at least we're into it. We can do what we always do and just go out there and try and lay a platform.
We are ready for action. The 2019 World Cup final.
So it's nicely timed. Into the corner and 4. Beautifully played.
I do prefer to bowl first. You get the work done, you can take your boots off, you don't even have to look at them again. We call it like setting the tone.
Yeah, that's out. Brilliant lengths from Chris Woke, 29 for 1.
It was a test match in 50 over format. It was a low-scoring, tight, tense affair.
I think there's a tickle there, and it's the big one, Kane Williamson.
I knew we'd be competitive and we'd fight like dogs. That's the nature of the New Zealand beast.
50 for Henry Nichols.
It was constantly New Zealand's game, then back to us. Then New Zealand again, then back to us.
Gone, it's Plunkett again.
That was part to do with, the overhead conditions, the wicket.
Exactly what England needed.
It was never really felt in on the wicket.
There's obviously different phases throughout a game of cricket, and especially in a final where the momentum changes a little bit.
Beautiful shot from Latham.
It was just about trying to ride those as best you could. Whether you're under pressure or whether you had your foot in front a little bit.
Bowlers have done their job. It's over to the batters. This is all now about handling pressure.
I think at the halfway stage, there was this belief that England could do it and it was manageable. But I think there was a quiet confidence with New Zealand as well.
When I saw the fact that we'd struggled to get a really big score, I thought to myself, it's not going to get any easier. Here we go again. It's just got to be a dogfight, an arm wrestle. And what you can't see is what's going on up here, and it's the pressure word.
I felt quite at ease, to be honest. Our huge level of success over the course of the 4 years is taking the scoreboard out of the equation and actually trying to apply pressure to the opposition. But what unfolded was actually the completely opposite to what I thought.
And Henry has got the breakthrough, and it's Roy at that.
You're trying to create pressure, take it as deep as you possibly can. And we managed to do that. We managed to create a lot of pressure up top. Guys bowled some really tight spells, which actually gave us a chance to put the foot on the throat.
Edged and gone! Joe Root dismissed!
The hardest bowler to get away with was looking like the ground, and he was even the fastest. At one point, I didn't think we were going to win.
At the halfway point of the run chase, I just think we're not going to get close. We're going to be 20, 30 shy.
Could be out, is out! England are now staggering their way to World Cup glory, and it's getting further away.
When you're walking off, it is such a miserable feeling because you can play no further part in the game. You're just a passenger and a spectator for the rest of it.
We were under big pressure. New Zealand had got a real strangle on us. Myself coming to the crease, I wanted to get a partnership going with Ben. I wanted to be busy. Ben had been in fantastic form for the whole tournament, so I sort of felt like I know he's going to play his part. It's now my time to step up.
Joss Buttler just goes about his work.
Ben didn't really sort of get his timing going. Joss was the only guy on either side who seemed to be able to find the middle of the bat with any regularity.
Under pressure, he thinks very, very clearly. Not only is he calm within himself, he embodies that calm nature. When you have the ability to do that, it rubs off on other people.
This partnership building nicely. Two quality players at the crease.
I was born and raised in New Zealand. Whenever I play against New Zealand, there's always that relation that gets brought up in the media and the press and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, it was just World Cup final against New Zealand.
Stokes, he will not stand down.
He has that empowering effect on other people, which is an amazing trait to have.
Stokes looking a little more assured at the crease.
A moment when me and Joss were batting together just in the middle, just trying to rebuild, where I hit 3 2s in a row. And the crowd just started going wild again, and me and Joss both came into the middle and said to each other, "This is awesome."
It's probably one of my favourite moments I've had on a cricket field.
That noise, that is some noise here at Lord's.
Bit of magic from Joss Buttler.
I remember thinking, I want this game to last forever. This is unbelievable.
The English support, no matter what situation we are in, they're there right till the end.
And that's 50 for Joss Buttler. A man for a crisis. He is ice cool at the crease.
When Stokes and Joss Buttler started their partnership, there was still so much to do. You really felt, anyway, that they had to be there at the end to win it.
Stokes gets to 50.
He is not interested in that personal milestone. No one will remember these 50s if they lose.
But there was so much road to come that one of them was going to fall.
Now, is there a chance? Is there a chance? Is there a twist? The catch! It's Tim Southey, the sub-fielder. What a moment.
When you're out there, you've got some sense of control. I was berating myself for having got out. I was storming around the dressing room, swearing at myself, hitting things. And then sort of thinking, come on, Ben, you can do this. Be non-English for once. Let's be the team that wins this.
England now, it's in the hands of Ben Stokes. It's a gap. It's a gap! It is so valuable.
A lot of players would immediately fill themselves with doubt, but in those big moments, big characters and, I suppose, unmeasurable qualities count.
What Ben's really exceptional at is just dealing with what's in front of him.
Straight up, Latham is under this. Big moment, gets it! Wokes took the gamble and it didn't pay off.
It really takes someone who has that instinctive ability just to shut out all the external noise.
Everyone was feeling it. There was an air of tension, certainly at the back end of the game.
I had no idea at the start of that commentary stint just what was about to unfold. I had no idea who was going to win, who was going to lose, and I just sort of played it like the players.
Is it catchable? It is catchable. It's taken in the deep, Trent Boult.
Often the game will come down to 2 or 3 key moments. I believed we were going to win that game. From the position we were in, it took some pretty amazing things to happen.
Now then, it's Trent Boult again. Is this it? Is this? Oh, he's thrown it, he got it! It's 6. You're kidding me?
Trent's a fantastic fielder, one of our best fielders, and it's just unfortunate the fact that it unfolded the way it did.
What a moment. What a moment. Oh, no. 16 from 8. It's on again for England. It's Boldham straight through. And New Zealand are back in it again. And what a big last over we've got.
Spare a thought for Mark Wood, sitting up in that players' pavilion with this tension.
I was all over the place, absolutely all over the place. Never felt so sick. You know, Lord's is the most prim and proper place you could ever play cricket in. You know, they've got this marble basin in the dressing room. And I was thinking, can I be sick in there? Am I going to hurl here? Like, what am I going to do?
Williamson has used his management skills brilliantly. It's his best bowler against England's best chance. 15 from 6.
I don't think there's been an over that's had more heart-stopping moments in it than that 50th over of the chase. It had everything.
I knew I had to face old balls for us to win. You know, there was never going to take a single there at the last over, even though it was Rashid the other end who came back. First 2 balls with dots, nailed 2 Yorkers there. So there's not a lot that I could have done with them.
Another beautiful length delivery, and Stokes can do nothing with it. He is so feeling it. I don't think Stokes can hear a thing.
My stomach's just gone. Shoulders are down. I'm thinking this isn't going to happen for England.
If you wanted a guy next to you on the field, it would be Ben. Even if they needed 3 to win and they had, 10 wickets left, he would still believe that he could win the game. He never ever gives up.
I had my bowling head on there going, right, if I'm a bowler here and I've just nailed 2 Yorkers, I'm going to try and bowl it again. I've never practiced that shot.
Is it out of the ground? It is! It is!
Never played a sweep shot off a seamer before.
He just put his leg down and swept Trent Bolt for 6. What a shot, what a cricketer.
And the next 6 was a bit unconventional, but yeah.
He's always in the mix and in the thick of things. The big moments find him, whether he likes it or not.
This is a big moment, they've got to run. They go to the other end. Oh, he gets in the way. This has got to go all the way to the boundary off the bat. Can you believe this? It has. I do not believe what I've just seen.
Is that 5? Is that 6? No one really knows.
It is signal to 6. New Zealand can't believe it.
Suddenly, the equation's so much more in England's favour now.
Fate always plays a part in those big occasions. I'm a believer in fate. And I just thought as things sort of unfolded, I thought, here we go again. That's just not going to happen. And then you say to yourself as a commentator, no. You can't think that way. You cannot sit in the seat and think negatively because it's not your role.
Unashamedly, it felt like winning the lottery. I try and be someone who's not that emotional with the game, but I was incredibly emotional in that period.
3 from 2. Down the ground. Now then, they've got to try and come back. Santner throws it in. Out! Rashid is out.
All I'm thinking of is just like, oh my God, this is the World Cup. We could win the World Cup. What happens if I slip? What happens if I fall? Don't get man-catted. Make sure you tap your bat in. When you're running, run as fast as you can. Why don't you run down the steps so you're nice and warm? So there's a million things going through my head. What am I going to say to Stokesy? Will he want us to say too much? Should I not say anything at all? Will he be in the zone?
He's coming out. He's coming out quicker than Usain Bolt.
Sprinted out so I'm nice and warm. It isn't until I get in the middle and I see Stokesy and he's glazed over, his eyes. He didn't really say anything to us. So I just thought, right, I'll just say, no matter what, I'm going to run. That's all I said to him.
If New Zealand can hold it to no runs, they're world champions. Stokes hits it for 2. England are world champions. 7 weeks of cricket, 48 games, 1 ball. Here's Bolt. They're going to push. They've got to go quick. They've got to go quick. Out. I'm sure he's out. We're going to a super over.
I'm pretty sure Ross, who's played however many games he's played, when it was a tie on that last ball of the innings, went to shake the umpire's hand and say, assumed it was a tie as well, that you share the trophy.
I got loads of stick for that, saying, you know, the Titanic turns quicker and, you know, what was I doing with all my pads on and all this kind of stuff. But I actually blame Stokesy for the whole thing. He actually crunched it straight to the fielder. Now, all he had to do was hit the gap, I hit it for 6 and we would have won. So he's actually put me under pressure.
The feeling I had at that time was walking off, still annoyed. Should have easily done that. Should have won that off that last ball.
The dressing room was carnage. I remember Jason Roy throwing fruit across the room. Joss had thrown everything everywhere and punched the bed. Jofra's like sort of half asleep because he sleeps at any time of the day.
And both teams now ponder the super over. The team scoring more runs in the super over will simply win. They put the rules of a super over up on the screen, and when I read them to the world, I was learning at the same time.
In amongst this chaos, I was thinking the only two players that have timed the ball in our team are Stokes and Butler.
You can hear the cheer when they come back out and bat again. It's like, you know, it's like when you go to a gig and get an encore.
We hadn't talked about a super over. We knew it was on the cards, but when it came to it, it was who do we think can do the role that is best for us right now.
Trent had been bowling well all tournament. He's an absolutely fantastic death bowler, and I think it was probably a no-brainer in that sense.
Ben was always going to take the first ball. So we just went about our work.
Outside edge, running up the hill. 3 off the first. Gap, is it? Yes, it is. He's done it again.
Remember hitting the last ball for 4.
He gets it in a gap, he gets a boundary.
And seeing Ben sort of punch the air and sort of celebrate. I think we both felt that we'd put together a really good score that we were going to defend.
15 off the super over. And New Zealand's target in 6 deliveries is 16 to be the world champion.
And then who was going to bowl the over for England? Fortunately, they had one of the best in the business.
Then see what he put his bowling boots on. Woody's just gone down with his side. See Plunkett, he didn't have his bowling shoes on either. So I was like, it must be rash then. So I asked Marks, am I bowling?
I said, yes, mate, it's you.
I was speaking to Ben quite a lot throughout the tournament. One of the things he did tell me was that, you know, in the aftermath of 2016 T20 World Cup final, where things didn't go so well for him, he knew that it wasn't the end of the world.
Carlos Brathwaite! Remember the name! 24 from 4 deliveries.
Ben Stokes absolutely distraught. That's the game, that's cricket.
I was there in Jofra's shoes, coming on to bowl last over, and so I knew how I was feeling. This is his first summer of international cricket. He's in a World Cup final, biggest moment of his career. You know, I just went up and just said, you know, whatever happens here is not going to define your career.
It's easier said than done, to be honest, because if it lost, I honestly don't know if I would have played in the Ashes. I would have definitely taken some time from cricket.
It's Martin Guptill and Jimmy Neesham. Martin Guptill, who has really battled to be the real Martin Guptill.
It was a great opportunity to be the hero after, you know, having I guess, not so successful tournament with the bat. Jimmy's facing first ball. Obviously, he started off a little bit lucky to get a wide.
It's a freebie for New Zealand. It's pressure on a young man.
With Jimmy, we started playing indoor cricket together. That's how we sort of first met. So we go back quite a way.
They've got to get two. Guptill will get back. He's quick enough.
My job was to run as fast as I can there and back and get him on strike.
He's got it. It's huge. It's gone. It's out of the park. 7 from 4 now.
I remember maintaining some real belief throughout that over, even after Neesham hit a 6. I just knew Jofra was a superstar.
Neesham gets him again. Will they go for 2? It's a misfield. More pressure.
Looking back, that over had some of everything.
We were sort of huddled around watching, and I asked the coach, I said, what happens if this is a tie? And he goes back on boundary count. I thought, oh, so who's hit the most boundaries? And he said, oh, England. I was like, oh, no. All right.
It's going to be on Martin Guptill. It's going to be on Martin Guptill. 2 from 1.
Certainly through the first part of the game, you're never thinking that, oh, we better hit more boundaries because this could be a factor at the end.
I remember the last ball. I can still picture myself where I am.
I just want to nail Mallorca. If they're going to get 2, they're going to have to run really, really hard, but I don't want them to get it to win the game from a boundary.
I remember thinking, do your job. Like, if you're involved in this ball in whatever capacity, you know, don't be the person to mess it up.
The whole stadium, which had been completely alive, this electric atmosphere, and then all of a sudden you could hear a pin drop. And I start to close my eyes and I can't look, and it's Jofra Archer running into bowl.
This is the moment. It's Archer to Guptill. 2 to win. Guptill's going to push for 2. They've got to go. Throw's got to go to the keeper's end. He's got it. England have won the World Cup by the barest of margins. By the barest of all margins. Absolute ecstasy for England. Agony for New Zealand.
That moment of sort of euphoria, I just want to relive again.
I feel like kids again. Lads running around like lost puppies. It's just probably the most natural reaction you're going to see out of a group of grown men.
In 2019, I think it will stay in a lot of people's memories. I just felt like everything was made for us to win.
It's a lot of heartbreak.
You can think back and think, you know, what could I have done differently, but really there wasn't much I could have done, to be fair. Smithy said, you know, by the barest of margins, but 2 metres is quite a big margin, really. I was absolutely gutted. I just wanted to be that man, you know. Unfortunately, it just seemed like everything that day Every major, I guess, moment in the game went against us.
Certainly, it shows the characteristics of our team that even though there's little moments that go 50-50 either way, didn't go our way, we still managed to find a way to give ourselves a chance of winning the game, and obviously we ended up tying the game and losing the final.
This was just on another level. In front of your home fans, your family and friends. We'd spent 4 years going from one of the lowest ranked teams to the best team. It's just the best moment in my career by a long, long way.
Such a special ground and an iconic place. I will always remember that moment.
ICC World Cup champions, England!
Although there's disappointment at the time, you'd sort of maybe ask yourself whether you'd want to be a part of it or not, you know, and the answer by anyone, I think, would be yes, and a firm yes. It was almost the perfect game.
What that would have done to young kids in England and Wales, and you know, how much they would have been inspired by that moment, I think it was hugely significant.
Quite a few of us were a bit sort of taken aback by how much this had, you know, meant to the country.
I think the enjoyment comes when you are a part of something bigger than just your own personal achievements. The journey that you go on together, the emotions that you sort of roller coaster through, and then to be there at the end and be able to sort of enjoy that. Yeah, they're the sort of things that you look back on and you think that was really special.
I genuinely don't think there'll be a game played on a stage like that with such drama. And I firmly believe that if somebody was to write about it in a book or a novel, that you wouldn't believe it, because the events that happened or unfolded are so extraordinary.